Okay, we got a lot to talk about. But before we get started, I just wanted to say that throughout the release of this new album, and even going beyond that, I'm going to be keeping you updated on everything Coldplay related. So if you enjoy this video and have not done so yet, I would encourage you to please subscribe. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get started. Now, I'd like to start off by doing a quick recap of what we've seen in the last few weeks leading up to this week. Now, Coldplay first teased the new album with Alien Radio FM, which is a social media presence and a website, and I included a link to that in the description so you can check that out for yourself. Now, Alien Radio FM has been tweeting out images of digital billboards from all around the world with this alien language in it, and it has coded messages like Coldplay, Higher Power, May 7. And then soon after, Coldplay changed their branding to this alien language and officially announced that they are going to be indeed releasing a new single called Higher Power on May 7th. And that's really everything you need to know going into this video, but if you would like to catch up on everything that has been going down, which I definitely recommend you do, please check out this video right here. And now to get into all those juicy details. On TikTok, Coldplay put out a video of Chris dancing along to an audio clip of Higher Power. And it is a pretty short clip, but at least we now have a better understanding of what this single and most likely what the album is going to sound like. And if I were to describe this sound, I'd say it's kind of like a new age 80s pop sound. Some are saying that it's similar to Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark, which is actually kind of perfect for Coldplay. Because if you think about it, the band grew up in the 80s and have always looked up to artists from that time. And it's interesting because it also has a blend of pop. Now, this 80s pop sound is something that has been increasing in popularity super recently, like with artists like Dua Lipa and The Weeknd. Which kind of makes me think that Coldplay had this idea for Higher Power being this 80s pop song. And then seeing the recent success in songs like Blinding Lights, they knew that this was the perfect time to release the song. As they mentioned in a tweet recently, Higher Power is a song that arrived on a little keyboard and a bathroom sink at the start of 2020. It was produced by Max Martin, who is a true wonder of the universe. It's out Friday, May 7th. So they had this idea for the song going back to early 2020, and seeing the success of the 80s pop genre, they knew they couldn't sit back. Now, also regarding that same tweet, we see Coldplay mention the song was produced by Max Martin. So let's talk about him a little. He's basically worked with every well-known pop artist you could imagine, starting his producing career back in the 90s and obviously continuing until now. So just to name a few of the artists he's worked with, they include Britney Spears, Kelly Clarkson, Pink, and even more recently with Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, and Taylor Swift. So to say the least, his background is pretty impressive. But the one thing that I wanted to mention about him is that he is most known for his pop songs, and he's even been referred to as the Yoda of pop songwriting. And we can even see this pop influence in that short clip of Higher Power that we got in that TikTok. Now, it's not certain whether or not he has worked with Coldplay on more than just Higher Power, and it seems pretty common for him to work with just singles as opposed to full albums. But you have to keep in mind that this was the first single for the album, the first look of what the album will sound like, and Coldplay has been putting a ton of effort to promote it. So I think it's safe to say that we can expect more of this kind of sound from the album. Now, one last thing regarding Max Martin, given his extensive background in working with some of the greatest artists we've seen in the last few decades, I think we can pretty much trust that he knows what he's doing. And with all the marketing Coldplay is doing to put out this song, it seems that Coldplay themselves is all in with this single. Now, we may not have the full audio for Higher Power, but we do have the full lyrics. And it's not like some sketchy fan-made post on Twitter. The lyrics are literally posted on Genius Lyrics right now. Now, it's possible that this is an accident and they will take these down, but just in case, I included a link to a Google Doc of them. But as of now, it looks like it's pretty intentional, so don't feel bad about getting a sneak peek of the lyrics just a little early. And also regarding the lyrics for Higher Power, you know those Spotify canvases that have the alien language that give us what appears to be some lyrics to songs or whatever? Well, it turns out that so far, every single one of those has been a line from Higher Power, and the last I checked there was like 8 of them, so it seems like all the attention is being directed to that single. Not to mention that even the profile picture Coldplay is using on their socials with all the alien letters, well, it turns out that when it's decoded and unscrambled, it spells out Coldplay Higher Power, so this is clearly the message that they want us to see. Now, regarding this alien language, the alphabet finally has a name, and it is Kaotican. And you can actually go to Coldplay's website where you can find the entire alphabet and how to pronounce each character. And while we're on the topic of the Kaotian language, I wanted to bring up this. This image has been seen by Coldplay most notably on the limited edition CD of the Higher Power single, but the cool thing about it is it's almost like it's its own planet. So this perhaps is Kaotia. So it just makes you wonder what kind of cool themes they may have in this album related to this alien race. Wait, alien race? The race? And one last thing regarding this language. I mentioned that Coldplay allows you to hear how to pronounce each letter on that website. Well, in a previous video, which you can actually find out right here, we talked about Angelina, the alien character Coldplay has referenced singing on Cry Cry Cry. And perhaps the one who is pronouncing each letter is actually Angelina. Just some food for thought. And now to talk about their upcoming performances, since some of them might have a few surprises. Starting with the closest, we have May 5th, which is tomorrow if you are watching this video the day it's released. Chris Martin, by himself, is going to be performing for an online Dell event. Yes, Dell as in the tech company. He's going to have a 45-minute slot, probably something similar to what we've seen on Instagram. And he's probably even going to be talking a lot in between the songs. But I really do not expect him to perform Higher Power early, especially by himself, and especially because, in my opinion, it would be a very bizarre event to perform it. Next up on May 9th is the American Idol performance. Now Chris is going to be mentoring the contestants, and at some point during the program, Coldplay, the full band, is going to be performing their new single, Higher Power. Again, I don't expect anything else new to happen during this, but keep in mind that this is the first time that they're going to be performing Higher Power, so it's at least something to look forward to. Then there's the Brit Awards on May 11th, in which they're actually going to be opening up for, so I expect this to be super entertaining. Speaking of this event, Coldplay was actually spotted filming their performance, and we got to see a little bit of a sneak peek of their performance outfits, which follow the same theme but are a little different than the ones that we saw in their promo shots. And last but certainly not least, there is the Glastonbury performance, which will be taking place on May 22nd. Now, I'm not saying that something is for sure going to happen during this performance, but if there was a set where Coldplay was going to give us a huge surprise, it's gonna be here. They'll have plenty of time during the set to potentially premiere something. Now, nothing's certain, of course, but that would be super awesome to see happen. Not to mention, Coldplay has been pushing this performance quite a bit through sponsored ads and even has a place on their news section on their website. Now, the event will be live streamed, so if you're able to be a part of it, make sure to get your tickets. And now I wanted to take some time to look at some comments that you left on my recent videos. Janaea Max says, do you think they'll make pins with aliens on them? And I'm actually really glad you mentioned this because yes, this Twitter user, who I'm pretty sure works with Coldplay Extra, spotted what looks like a love pin, but spelled out with the Kaotian language, which is pretty cool, and I really hope that they have these at future shows. Next, Benjamin Karn says, Chris had said he wanted to go back to the sound of X and Y in Milo Zoloto as he felt those two albums didn't end up the way they were completely happy with. Alien Radio was a song title for a song that was never used for Milo too. And then in that same vein, Tiffany Karn writes, I have a theory that this album will consist of unreleased songs reworked from Coldplay's catalog. And I absolutely love these ideas. I think that it's fair to say that the album will likely be like a Milo 2.0 and could possibly even be a collection of songs that have been in the works that Coldplay just never got around to releasing. Then when translated, Kaotican says that there are some people speaking in Italian saying numbers and phrases, and that there are letters that make up the word freedom. So I haven't heard this myself, but that could potentially even be a name for a new song, or maybe like a theme of the album or something. Good thing to point out, thank you. Now, this next one, I almost died laughing when I read it, so I wanted to mention Aller Nemthin's comment. The Swedish radio transmission is a guy describing how to cook meatballs, so I'm guessing that means the album will be meaty and well-rounded. Well played. And then Buplo says, since you have good taste in music, I subbed. Well, thank you very much, Buplo, and if you are watching this and have not joined the fun yet, be like Buplo. And finally, Dennis Montalvo says, I hope it sounds like the song Moving to Mars. And I absolutely loved this idea. Not only does it have that space theme, but it also combines like X and Y and their Milo era sounds, so I think that would be super cool to see. Thank you for that comment. Now, before we wrap things up, I just wanted to touch on a couple questions that are still unanswered. One, we do not know the official album release date, or really anything past the fact that Higher Power is going to be released on May 7th, but it's likely that the album will be released by the end of the year, but nothing's super certain yet. And then two, I wanted to mention that the title for the album has still yet to be confirmed. All we know is that it's likely to be Music of the Spheres, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's not super confirmed yet, but it's pretty likely. And that, my wonderful Coldplay friends, is everything that I wanted to mention and the newest updates to the Coldplay news. Now, as we've seen in the last few weeks, the news is constantly coming, so if you've not done so yet, be sure to follow me on Twitter and all my socials for all the most recent real-time information on anything Coldplay. And of course, if you've not done so yet, please subscribe to this channel. I'm here to bring you all the updates on the world's favorite band, and make sure to hit that bell so that you're notified whenever a video goes up. And if you have any comments or theories regarding the new album, I'd absolutely love to hear them. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.